I'm. Excuse me because I'm in bed because I've been unwell, and this is partly to do with my question. I got very unwell about 2 days ago, and had huge fear of dying, huge fear of COVID, and that I tested negative, but the whole wave of terror around dying, and it almost feels like a sort of collective fear because it's the fear that's running through this body. It's a sort of frequency. The word surrender that you use really resonates for me, of just surrendering into it and giving it that fear space. And I just lay down and was giving it space and giving it space. And I still don't know what this illness is. I've never had it before. It's something strange. Everything started swelling up and I couldn't breathe. But
firstly, Alexandra, you won't die so fast. No. You'll be fine. I think it's not that easy to die also. Yes, it would be nice if it were, sometimes I feel, but I think you'll survive for a long time. So you can do away with that fear for the moment, trusting what I'm saying, because I don't think you're going to die so fast. So, by the way, I would have told you if I had felt that you're going to go, I would have said, have a good trip and see you in the next life, but it's not the case. So firstly, just to say, another thing is that this idea of giving fear space. I don't think one should give fear any space at all, because fear attracts what it is afraid of. You're afraid of a tiger, there'll be a tiger in your room. Where do you live?
In the south of England.
Okay, so there'll be a tiger in your room in the south of England if you are afraid of that. If you allow the fear of the tiger will be in the room. So obviously you don't have the fear of the tiger because you know that there isn't a tiger around nearby. I presume there isn't. If at all, then in a zoo, but then locked in. So fear is an invention or is a creation of the ego lie. And allowing that space would mean that you're actually allowing it to take over something in your thinking, in your emotional body, and even in the very materiality of your being, a cellular sort of fear. So I don't think we need to allow, any space to fear. In fact, we need to say, dear, it was nice meeting you, but bye-bye. Literally refusing these vibrations, these electromagnetic vibrations of fear that attempt to take over the system have to be denied entry. Very strictly, it's a conceptual decision. No, no, no. And certainly the negative vibrations towards you of people who may dislike you or not want you around or whatever it may be, there's family fights and so on, will weaken your ability to keep out these waves of fear. You ought to be more aware then and actually make that conceptual decision. No, I don't want this fear. I feel the fear out. No, because the fear will attract what it is afraid of. That is a given. So making space for the fear is absolutely the wrong approach. It is rather making space for the love that is the center of your being, the source, the soul, the center of your being. That is where you're going. You're going moving inward to that in surrender. Bending down in surrender. Bending, bending, bending. And when you move into that center of quiet, in surrender, the master of your being. And you're there feeling that quiet, feeling that enormous power of love. The fear dissipates. And even before COVID created this terrible collective fear in the world, the human being does experience fear when illness visits. And that fear is something almost cellular in nature. It's coming from the very memory of the cells. So it's not something that is that unusual. It simply is something which cannot be tolerated, which has to be moved out by focusing on the truth, which is the source of love, the source, soul, the master, the truth. That is what love is. Love is not a conceptual construct. It is a material reality which is present in the system. It is a material presence that one experiences in a state of surrender. Not listening to the fear and the noise of the ego and all that rubbish and nonsense it creates, but to just move away from all of that. Okay, that's nice. It was nice listening to you now. Bye bye. And move inward to thisness, to this center of your being. And you can do that even now when you're lying there, because you have even less between you and your soul right now, since you have only some pajamas on. So move inward. Start to feel your center. That is who you actually are, that surrendered experience. So you're going to be definitely showing up at satsangs in Europe or in India for many, many years to come.
Can I just thank you so much for that? I always hear such a thorough answer from you when I've had the good fortune to hear you and sit with you. Actually, in India, I have already. Can I just double check, because what you said feels really important for me, and I want to double check that I heard it and understand it correctly. That when I have the fear, or the fear around illness, the fear around body, what have you, that I tune in with the love, the core, the consciousness. I surrender to that, and that will keep. So it's rather a sort of turning to that rather than a saying no to the fear. It's that order.
Absolutely. Because you don't even have to take, there's no point even acknowledging the fear. Why would you want to acknowledge it and make space for it and, set up a sofa for it and make a meal for it? Why? Why does one need to even look at it? It's psychologizing the entire thing if one starts to look at the ego and dress it up and welcome it in and give it space, and it's much better to focus on the truth, which is the actual core of your being. That's the master of your being, the core, the truth, the soul, the source, that which you feel when you move yourself inward into this inner universe. It's like, when you move inward, there is this huge universe within. It's like the parallel to the outside is happening inside. And at the center of that vastness is the truth, which is love. That's the center, and that's where you turn, and that's where you are in a state of surrender, bending down, literally feeling that bending down. I can feel it right now as I speak to you. I'm there in this state. It's what we call sweet surrender, And in this state of sweet surrender, where's fear? It's not even there as a conceptual possibility, you know.